I'm sick and tired of wasting my time coming here, bringing all the people working for you.
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you are sleeping. We have been seeing morbidly obese patients for the past 7 years on TLC's My 600 Pound Life show. They come on the show to start their weight loss journey so they could get to a healthier, happier place in their life. So in today's video, you are going to watch Dr. Now lose it with this patient. James King and his failure. During the filming of James's updated episode on My 600 Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, a heated moment occurred between Dr. Now and him. By the way, it's way good to summarize what exactly had happened before that heated argument, as looking back now, Dr. Now was spot on with his actual predictions. James King weighed almost 700 pounds at the beginning of his journey, and unfortunately, in his initial episode, he didn't succeed at losing his weight. James was totally ready to change his life once again when he literally got to know about the life-threatening infection. So, therefore, TLC went through with a follow-up episode with the hope that James would really do much better by committing fully to the weight loss program, but the irony is, he didn't. Well, during the filming, Dr. Now got a phone call that James is actually gaining weight instead of losing at the hospital, which definitely offended Dr. Now. Actually, it was all because he was cheating on Dr. Now's intended diet, and the real culprit was his girlfriend, as she was enabling him all sorts of extra junk food and unhealthy food, and therefore, Dr. Now lost his calm, as he was not having it. Since day one, Dr. Now was adamant to James King that he had to take his health seriously if he really wanted to lose his weight. He even warned James not to waste time on TLC and their resources if he isn't interested. Well, during at the hospital after reaching 750 pounds, it literally felt as though Dr. Now finally had enough of James' non-serious and pathetic behavior. Usually, as we have seen on the show, that after being so harsh and going on so hard on his patients, Dr. Now keeps it cool. But this time, in the case of James, Dr. Now wasn't stopping. But despite all of Dr. Now's struggles, nothing worked for James, as all those harsh words weren't a big enough wake-up call for him, and unfortunately, he passed away in April of 2020. When he died, TLC reflected on James's death after 4 days by tweeting that TLC was deeply saddened by the loss of James King, who shared his weight loss journey on My 600 Pound Life. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family at this difficult time. Lisa Fleming, lying and cheating. We all know that Dr. Now doesn't take to cheating well, as we have been seeing him since 2012. By the way, it is literally quite a disrespectful and non-serious thing that a patient can do while he is the one who came on the show in the first place to be a part of a weight loss program. And just consider all the time and resources Dr. Now puts so he could get him to get on the right track. This story is about Lisa Fleming, a woman who was in her 40s and appeared just after her daughter found literal maggots living under the folds of her skin. Lisa had grown up into a woman who was remarkably obese. In fact, her mother was also the one when she was young. Well, being the daughter of an obese patient, she eventually moved into her mother's precious bedroom. And not just that, as she also took on her pathetic and sedentary lifestyle. That caused her to grow up to 704 pounds. She finally accepted weight loss surgery throughout the show to help herself to live a healthier, normal life by losing weight. But despite all that, during her episode, she even though had some setbacks, but still managed to lose over 200 pounds and became concerned on her way to full recovery. But that all was until her stay at the hospital, as after a few weeks in hospital, she didn't show any progress in losing weight. So Dr. Now suspected that she was consuming junk food under his radar, and he accused Herbert, Lisa's boyfriend, of enabling her with an unhealthy diet. But as he can't take such things and had no time for such nonsense, therefore, he did nothing except simply issuing her back to her home. But Herbert then quickly jumped to tell Dr. Now that on Lisa's back, she was suffering with a bad rash. When Dr. Now came forward to have a look at her back, something happened from nowhere. He found a wrapper of a junkie. In her sheets, there was an empty packet of Doritos, and Dr. Now saw that. He got angry at her and asked about it from her, but she attempted to lie about it. But this time, he wasn't in a mood to buy her statement, so he didn't hold back. But Lisa, being rigid and stubborn, kept on denying the Dr. Now's claim. But he stayed brutally honest and said straight at Lisa's face that her time is up, as you are going to die very soon. He even added that despite knowing all, both of you don't seem to get that. And if you don't, then you're done. Stubbornness of Steven Assanti. In 2017, on My 600-Pound Life, Steven Assanti made his debut appearance and has since been known as one of the most bullhead and controversial contestants on the show who ever featured. When he became a part of the weight loss program, he was weighing 734 pounds, and due to his manipulative nature, criminal past, and weird behaviors, he was quickly hated by viewers. By the way, it was quite apparent that his antics were an obvious result of his addiction. He was actually addicted to prescription pain medications. Not just that, Steven called 911 during filming his update episode on My 600-Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, saying that he is in pain and therefore he needed to go to the hospital. It was nothing but an absolute attempt to get a refill on his painkillers without developing a dependence and knowing zero boundaries. He came back against Dr. Now's orders because he already knew that the other hospitals were useless and unwatched for him, and those hospitals would send him to jail if they saw him coming in asking for painkillers meds. If he ever tried to take that risk, he would have to pay that price with his insurance being canceled, and free ambulance rides would be canceled. Due to his attempt by him, Dr. Now wasn't pleased with him, and even got so fed up with the situation as well. Not only this, he also got angry with the paramedic because how could they listen to him, Steven, in the first place? Then Steven was taken into the hospital so Dr. Now could talk with him. Dr. Now then told him that due to this behavior of him, he is canceling his insurance as well, as if he ever calls in again, then he will be getting him arrested the next time. After some more disagreements, Dr. Now threatens Steven to call the cops and ended all the matter by warning Steve that he's going to end up in jail or dead if he keeps being this notorious and non-serious or keeps up with this kind of behavior. He'll soon be paying with his life. James King and his enabler girlfriend. Well, in today's video, first entry, we have all seen Dr. Now absolutely unleashing on James King when he joined the hospital for the treatment for his infection. This clip isn't different, as it is also about James' non-seriousness. Well, when Dr. Now was called in to check up on James after some weight gain, then James started claiming that it was all because of the swelling on his leg instead of taking responsibility and accountability on his deeds. But such lame excuses weren't new for him, as he had been dealing with such patients for years, so he was quite quick to shut down all of his white lies because he definitely wanted to get to the bottom of his weight gain. For this, he immediately pointed the finger at Lisa, James' long-term girlfriend, because according to Dr. Now's claims, she was the one who was providing him with extra unhealthy food or whatever he asked for, when she wasn't supposed to be. Dr. Now then said something to James' face, which literally hit so bad, even harder, when he died. He said that he will get a call that James didn't make it, as due to your being overweight, your body is not going to tolerate this. James, instead of understanding his concerns, started arguing back for stupid reasons, and then Dr. Now said the famous quote to him that is in a hotel. In fact, about James's inconsistency with dieting, the two continued arguing back and forth, and at last, Dr. Now told him to withhold from seeing his girlfriend Lisa for at least 5 days, just to see how much weight he'd lose. But he rejected the 5-day offer, so Dr. Now didn't buy this attitude and removed James King from the program along with his enabler girlfriend. Shani Marie Rigidness. Back in 2018, Shani Marie appeared on My 600-Pound Life, and from time to time, she had a few run-ins with the famous surgeon Dr. Now. Due to the tragic upbringing she had in her life, which led her to spiral to the world of food, and food there furthermore in her unhealthy ways, since the beginning of her weight loss program. She hasn't lost any weight despite her marriage and dreams to have children. So, by the end of her episode, it was clear that for her weight loss surgery, she wasn't truly willing to make the changes in lifestyle for her weight loss. Well, it became apparent when Dr. Now busted her for cheating on her diet. Actually, it happened when she stayed at the hospital under his supervision, and Dr. Now found an empty pizza box in another patient's trash bin. Then he talked about it with his staff members and found out that the empty pizza box was indeed from Shani's room. When he confronted her, her boyfriend Freddie jumped into the conversation and took all the blame on himself by saying that it belongs to him. Dr. Now didn't buy that. He ate pizza and tried making Shani admit to her cheating, but she didn't take it and kept lying. Then both eventually started arguing about whether eating junk food makes you gain weight or not. But it is the fact that Shani was being delusional, therefore she wasn't taking accountability that she cheated. So at last, Dr. Now gave her the warning to either commit to the program or leave the show. And guess what? She chose the second option. Well, that's all guys for today. Thanks for watching the video.